students stay at the university to do research and really form a tight-knit group of friends. This is really when I learned what good friends were, and I became really close to all of them. I was the only student of my honors supervisor that summer, and learned really what scientific research was all about, and he inspired me to apply for my master's. Working one-on-one, I really created a good work ethic as I worked on computer modeling of the Antarctic circumpolar current. The social aspect of my life continued through my fourth year, and a good friend nominated me for class valedictorian. The students voted me as their valedictorian after giving a trial speech. It wasn't until 3 years after this speech when I learned that I inspired a couple from Huntsville to set up the Gloria Fulton Memorial Award at Acadia for students that are physically challenged, with preference given to Nova Scotia citizens. The couple was there to see their grandson, but after seeing my speech, decided to set up this award in memory of their cousin Gloria, who was born and raised in Nova Scotia and lived her 80 years with cerebral palsy, most of it in a wheelchair. But she continued to inspire people and created awareness through her entire life. The couple, along with family members and one of Gloria's friends, financed $25,000 to the Acadia Endowment to give out enough in interest to provide one award per year of about $1,000. After being accepted at a few different universities across Canada for my master's, I chose Dalhousie University with a research project in wind forecasting. My social and academic success continued, and soon I had more friends than I ever had. These friends supported me and included me in everything I did. But as part of my research, I spent about half of my time at Environment Canada's National Lab in Dartmouth, working with some of their research and operational meteorologists. And I gained a lot of speaking experience as well. I defended my master's in August 2008, and although I pondered a few options, I decided to continue graduate school and do my PhD. I really enjoyed my master's, but was looking to apply my wind knowledge to a specific application. I got in touch with a professor here at York, and he spoke of an opportunity to do my PhD in conjunction with a project with Toronto Hydro on an offshore wind energy project. I was immediately interested and decided to move to Toronto in October 2008 to do my PhD. For this type of degree, it's mostly research-based, but you are required to do 3 to 4 classes. Using that program I spoke of earlier, I can now do most of my courses all on the computer. But there was one course I wanted to take, which is synoptic meteorology, which is a course meant to teach you weather forecasting. This course requires a lot of math work for the labs, and I knew I would need a scribe. So, trying to be proactive, I set up a meeting with Disability Service at the beginning of August to discuss this scribe for a course beginning in September. I was surprised to learn that a scribe wasn't funded through the center unless you qualify for a student loan. Being a graduate student and receiving TA-ships as well as research assistantship, I knew I wouldn't qualify for a student loan. To make it even worse, they told me if I was deaf and needed an interpreter, that's funded with whether or not you qualify for a student loan. I expressed my concern with this, saying it's no different, but they said it would be on their control as it was government funding and the government sets the rules. So they said, okay, there are two other options. One, you get a volunteer to help you, or two, you pay for it out of your own pocket. Both of which I kind of thought were crazy. First of all, getting a volunteer, which turned out to be 50 hours over a term, is a lot to ask of someone. And on top of that, if they're volunteering, it's a lot harder for me to say, no, that's wrong, do it over. As well, I couldn't afford to do this. So I, not knowing what to do and dissatisfied, I left and went to talk to my PhD supervisor. And luckily, he was able to come up with the funding to fund my scribe, and grad studies kicked in a bit at the end. So it turned out that it worked out well, but it still puzzles me why their funding structure is the way it is. At York, part of my duties are, as a grad student, is to TA. And although I do mostly marking, I do on occasion enter the class and help invigilate tests and exams. Although I enjoy this, it does pose challenges and stress for me. Earlier this year, another TA and myself were invigilating a midterm of about 130 students, and as it turns out, it was in this room. And at the beginning of the class, there's always a panic to hand out the test to make sure everyone can start on time and get the same amount of time. Well, you guessed it, I dropped the entire pot of midterms. The students didn't make a big deal of it. They helped me pick them up and I continued. But I really felt bad about this and embarrassed. Another time, just last week actually, I was invigilating a clicker test. So what a clicker test is, every student in the class has a clicker like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and just clicking